Hello, Rough Rider Nation. Welcome to the first edition of Rider Report, the ins and outs of Yavapai College athletics. I'm Brad Clifford. I'm the athletic director here at Yavapai College. And joining me here today is our head men's soccer coach, Mike Pantalione. Coach, thanks for being here.
It's great to be on the very first episode of Rider Report. Thank you.
Very first of many, I'm hoping. Mike has had an epic career here at Yavapai College. He's had 7 national titles, over 70 championships in all, been named to numerous Hall of Fames. We're just very fortunate to have somebody of Mike's caliber here at Yavapai College coaching with us. Mike, you just finished your 28th season here at Yavapai College. You captured your 26th ACCAC title. You did this with 25 freshmen and only 2 returners. Which I think is a phenomenal feat. I know the season didn't end like we wanted it to, but overall it was a great year. What are your thoughts on the season?
Wow, first of all, you look at the numbers, 26 titles in 28 years, and the 2 years we were not successful, we actually finished in second place, only 1 point behind the leader. So it's a tribute to all the players associated with the program. We've had over 450 players represent this college, and this year was really no exception. It was a great group of young men that worked extremely hard all season long. And with 25 freshmen, you know, the good part of all this is they had a nice gradual improvement throughout the season, which, ended up with the conference title.
And you always want to be playing your best ball at the end of the year anyway, so that progress was obviously evident with those kids. Let's go through that last week of the season, because that was a whirlwind week for us. You guys played. We played on the 27th. We lost to Phoenix College in the semifinals of the region playoffs. I'm sure you met with the team the next couple of days. You collected their gear. You took the gear to the cleaners. On Tuesday, we have a department meeting, and right after the department meeting, I get a phone call from Art Becker, the region director, saying that there was some sportsmanship issues in the championship game between Pima and Phoenix, and they were deemed ineligible to play, and we're going to represent. How to go from there? You had to tell the kids what were your thoughts. You had to get on the bus. We had to get all the arrangements, and then we had to go play.
You know, you look back on 7 national championships and over 40 region and district titles, you're wondering how the heck did we do that when you consider what we went through that final week in October. And, you know, in soccer, it's not best of 3, best of 5, best of 7. It's one game, and potentially your season is eliminated. And that's what happened, unfortunately. We had a bad evening, but give credit to Phoenix College. You know, again, they were a quality side, and even though we beat them during the course of the regular season, they took care of business come playoff time. So it was unfortunate for the players, and as you stated, it was a time where it's time to do inventory and wrap up the season, close the books, and that's what we did. The uniforms were at the dry cleaners, essentially, when we were given a phone call by the region director stating, hey, would you like to participate at Yavapai or at the district playoffs? And we're very fortunate to have another opportunity. The players were excited about that opportunity, and again, I guess they selected us because Pima and Phoenix got in a bench clearing brawl, and they were looking for a representative. And again, we were conference champions. We also beat the other semifinalists during the course of the regular season, Arizona Western in Yuma, 2-1. And throughout the season, we had no red card. So, again, we try to run the program we always had, try to run the program in a classy manner. And we averaged less than a half a yellow card a game, which is very difficult in intercollegiate soccer. And I guess they just felt we would represent this region well in Wyoming. And we went up there, and it was a very long trip, 2 days in the bus. And you got to keep in mind, we really didn't kick a ball for about a week. So we were essentially unprepared going into that district game against Trinidad State College out of Colorado. But, again, it was a tremendous opportunity. We always try to provide a little educational experience for the young men when we're traveling. We stopped off at Winslow, Arizona. It was such a fine sight to see while standing on the corner. And again, but the players represented themselves well in Colorado. They fought very hard. They had opportunities to equalize the scoring there in the second half. We just came up short, but they were classy in defeat as always. And again, I'm very proud with the young men associated with this program here in 2016.
Well, and as we've talked before, Trinidad State ended up losing to Tyler, Texas in the national tournament, who Tyler, Texas ended up winning the national championship. So that was a quality team that you played. Your short turnaround. We got the call on Tuesday. We had to get buses arranged. It's a 2-day trip per law because they can't drive more than 10 hours, so we had to stop in Santa Fe. We play on Friday. Had to stop in Santa Fe. Then we got up to Cheyenne. You had 2 practices, very brief practices during that time. Not a chance to really to prepare. Obviously, that was played a big factor in the game, I'm sure.
Really, no excuses. We're grateful for the chance to play again, and we didn't complain throughout the trip. Nobody complained about the bus ride, the long journey up there, or anything else. But again, it's soccer. At times it can be an unjust sport. We had our opportunities throughout the second half to equalize the match. And again, it didn't happen, and credit to Trinidad State.
Indeed. You had only 2 returners, Juan Ramirez and Jacob Malik, in junior college junior college athletics at all. Sophomores are huge. What kind of role did those 2 play for you this year?
Well, obviously, they provided the leadership qualities we needed to survive the season. And, they kind of reassured the players throughout the season to trust the process. That's a terminology that the Philadelphia 76ers basketball team is utilizing right now, trust the process. And again, they were invaluable members of our team. Jacob from Boise, Idaho, Juan from Aloha, Oregon. And again, their leadership qualities and direction that they provided the players throughout the season, it was huge because, again, we had 25 freshmen and they were lost at times. But, again, they reassured the players to trust the process, trust your coaching staff, and buy into the system of play and buy into the program, which they did.
Using that term maybe of trust the process, now all of a sudden we have to turn around in junior college athletics, turn around and recruit, and it's a never-ending job, as you know. How's that going for us right now?
Yeah, it is a revolving door. It's been that way over the years, but you look back at our 28-year history, and I just shake my head. It's like, wow, to be as consistent as we've been throughout that time period, it is a tribute to the players. So we're always looking for quality young men with, good character and so forth. So, again, a lot of players have that desire to play at a 4-year university, and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes the major university doesn't fully satisfy their needs, and that's where we try to come in. We try to knock on their door and just try to sell our college. It's an opportunity to play as a freshman, an opportunity to save some money in the process, and you're not going to waste your time academically here because we make sure the players take quality credits and have a legitimate transcript. They're not taking coaching of soccer or officiating soccer. They're taking real courses that will transfer to a 4-year university. And as a result, we try to get quality people in the process as well as quality players, and it's proven successful over the years.
And we've had a lot of players that have gone on to 4-year university after coming to Yavapai College, and that's just a great trait that we had. Mike, in 2014, we hosted the national tournament. It was a great tournament. The communities came together. Our volunteers did a great job. It was just a wonderful tournament. We are fortunate enough in September to get the bid for 2017, this next year. Short turnaround getting prepared for that. Tell me what kind of, speaking of recruiting, how does that affect your recruiting? How does that affect the school? How does that affect the community? In your mind, what does that do to us?
First of all, it brings our fan base, it provides our fan base a better understanding of what it's like to win a national championship. And like I mentioned before, we've been very fortunate in that process. We've been involved in 13 national championship games. So we've been on the losing side 6 times, the winning side 7 times. But to get that far is a very tough journey. And again, we won those titles, and we represented our college 20 times in national tournaments in places like Trenton, New Jersey, and Tyler, Texas. So to bring it here to Yavapai County with such great facilities, and that's what we had in 2014 when we hosted a national tournament. We had the Prescott Valley Event Center that we utilized for a banquet, a beautiful 5,000-seat arena, and of course we have 2 tremendous soccer facilities, one in Prescott Valley, that hosted the tournament a couple years ago. So with the great venue and the fan support and so forth, it was a natural for Yavapai College to play host. But it wouldn't have been a successful tournament without so many of the great volunteers, because there's a lot of people that did a lot of work for the participants of the tournament, and it provided them really with great memories and a great experience they'll look back on. And hopefully 2017 will have the same end result.
And I don't anticipate any different. We're going to have some wonderful people that'll be helping us, and that are clamoring to help us. They love the opportunity to have a national tournament here in Prescott, especially with our tradition of soccer. Mike, you've had a tremendous career, and I'm going to read this because I don't want to get anything wrong here. You've been here. You have a winning percentage of 90%, which is the best winning percentage of any collegiate men's soccer. Any collegiate men's soccer, not junior college. Any collegiate men's soccer coach. You have 592 victories, the most in junior college history, which you'll surpass 600 next year, which is quite a milestone. You've captured 74 championships, including 7 national titles. You're a member of the ACCAC Hall of Fame, the NJCAA Soccer Hall of Fame. You have received numerous awards from national soccer associations. You have had tremendous success. Maybe you can share with the Rough Rider Nation here a little bit some of your secrets to success and maybe some of your leadership secrets that you can share with us.
Well, it's all about the players, and you try to recruit quality young men to represent you, and it's a player sport. It's not a coach's sport. And again, it's couldn't do it without the players. So, there's no magical formula or anything like that. It's just a lot of hard work, a little bit of luck in the process. But we try to have an attention to detail both on and off the field. And again, as a coach, if you're consistent in your daily approach, if you're fair, if you're organized, then the players will respond to you and run through the wall for you. But again, there's no magical formula whatsoever than hard work and a little bit of luck.
Indeed, and I think you're being a little bit modest, Mike. You've done a great job with the kids, and you're the big reason that we have so much success there. Mike, I want to finish finally with kind of a fun little thing. You had a brief stint as an ACCAC baseball umpire a few years ago. How did that come about? And I believe it's just one game.
That is correct. It was a game where Pima was scheduled to play at Yavapai College. Unfortunately, the umpires that were assigned to that game ended up in Tucson. The game was played in Prescott. So the players were standing around for about an hour and a half when I was approached by then athletic director Mrs. Lynn Merritt, who basically said, Mike, weren't you an umpire at one time? And obviously word got around that I was a graduate of the Major League Baseball Professional Umpire School. I worked over 3,000 baseball and softball games over a 20-year period. And basically, I was retired at that point, and I felt bad for the players on both teams to the point where I ran home, got my gear, came back, and I officiated the game. Well, a couple of things about that prior to the game. The Yavapai coach at the time, Dave Dangler, was a little bit hesitant on having me as the umpire because we had a philosophical disagreement at an athletic department meeting earlier in the morning. So he thought I would take it out on him. And then the Pima coach were obviously concerned. It's like, aren't you the Yavapai men's soccer coach? It's like, right. How fair is this going to be? But I reassure them I was a professional and not to have any worry. And when it was all said and done, Yavapai did win the game 4-3. And when you have the losing coach approach you after the game and essentially say, hey, we need you in this league to umpire. You did a great job. And I basically said, I have a job. I'm the men's soccer coach at Yavapai College. Thank you.
Oh, that's a great story. Well, Mike, thank you for joining us today in the inaugural session of Rider Report. We want to thank you for joining us. We want to make sure that you follow us on GoRoughRiders.com, www.GoRoughRiders.com. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Snapchat, Instagram. We're everywhere. So until next time, go Rough Riders.